Welcome to Category 5 Technology TV. It's episode number 454 for Tuesday, the 31st of May, 2016. So nice to see you. My name is Robbie Ferguson. Please help me welcome. We've got Shelley De Silva and our very own Kelsey on the shelf.
Hi.
Hi, Kelsey Jensen.
Hi.
How are you? How are you there?
I'm good.
You're destroying the illusion by putting your hand through her.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, tonight we've got an exciting show for you. Shelley, what do we got?
Well, tonight you are talking about,
Me?
or actually you're taking us through the Linux terminal with some awesome tools that'll help admin servers like a boss.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right. I plan to get our nerdism on tonight. We're going to learn some things in the Linux terminal. For example, have you ever been connected to a server over SSH and then suddenly your connection gets dropped? Well, I'm going to show you tonight how to recover from that kind of a situation.
We're also going to look at a better way to back up your Linux machine as we start our two-part series.
That two-part series on LVMs. Definitely want to stick around for that. Kelsey Jensen over on the shelf.
Hi.
What do you got coming up?
Well, I've got a lot of stuff coming up here. So here's what's coming up in the Category 5.tv newsroom. Microsoft's upgrade to Windows 10 is getting kind of pushy. A huge number of people in Canada have cut their home phone. In order to provide faster connections to online and cloud services across the world, Facebook and Microsoft have joined hands to lay an undersea cable system across the Atlantic Ocean. You won't believe how fast it is. Like, it's ridiculous. And Peter Sunday says Europe must take action to stop the Facebook social network. Stick around, the full details are coming up later in the show.
This is Category 5 Technology TV.
Welcome to the show. This is Robbie.
Hi, I'm Shelley.
And I'm Kelsey.
On the shelf.
On the shelf.
You can pick up a Kelsey on the shelf in our store. Shop.category5.tv.
For a low monthly payment.
I realize a lot of people actually just went there and are looking for it, so I'm going to really have to work on like a bobblehead doll or something. Not quite as interactive. But, hey, Kelsey is here tonight filling in for Jeff. Jeff was on his way here. There was a rollover on the 400 northbound and was not Jeff, thankfully. But he's going to be in that traffic for a little while, so thanks to Kelsey for jumping in at the last second. And of course, our set is last minute shelf. Brilliant. Speaking of our shop, we have a big seller there this week is the Raspberry Pi 3.
Oh, neat.
And I guess ever since Jeff and I showed the Retro Pi, how to build a retro gaming system on episode number 442, amazing response to that. And people are picking them up and emailing me and saying they love it. They absolutely love it. They're getting these retro games going. We've got one set up at home, and it's amazing. Like being able to play PlayStation games, probably have the best graphics of all of the retro stuff.
GameCube, N64.
Yeah, I've got some ROMs for N64, Super Nintendo. I don't have any GameCube ROMs, but that's only because I've never owned a GameCube.
Right.
However, I do have some GameCube games for my Wii. So I could rip those.
Yeah.
That makes me think. Excellent. So I'm going to add those to the Retro Pi 2. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's a little microcomputer that you can do any project with. It's a lot of fun. It's a great learning experience, and it's cheap. And if you're done with doing one project, you can wipe it out and start over with a new one. And so it's basically a cheap little microcomputer that you can play around with. Cool. Get yours at cat5.tv/Pi, that's P-I, and when you're there, you'll be able to see the different models. There's the Pi 3, and the Raspberry Pi 3 had a problem with the PlayStation 3 controllers. Jeff and I mentioned it a couple times. Bluetooth, when the Pi 3 came out, they really had to rock out the Bluetooth, and the drivers weren't ready, I guess, and the developers had to really push it out because they needed software to release for the Pi, Raspbian, basically. So it kind of failed. So on the Retro Pi, you're playing away with your PS3 wireless controller. It's an amazing thing to be able to do, but then it would just freeze, lock right up. So the good news is that problem has now been fixed. They went back to the Bluetooth stack, they redid it, and now it works perfectly. So in order to fix your RetroPie or Raspberry Pi so that the Bluetooth now works perfectly, it's actually pretty easy. You would just, on your RetroPie, go into your terminal. Oh, Kelsey's still in. She's floating around everywhere we are. It's amazing. We could actually, we'll just stick you in the Linux terminal. There you go. It's our Kelsey in a terminal. So in your terminal on your Pi, or if you want to SSH over to it, or however you access that terminal, on your Pi, I should mention, you can simply push F4 on your keyboard, and it takes a keyboard. It's like a computer. So plug a keyboard into it, USB, press F4. That's going to take you into the terminal up on your TV. And when you're there, now once you're into the terminal, all we're going to do is go sudo apt-get update is the very first thing that you want to type. What that does, and it's going to ask you for the password for Pi, which is Raspberry with a P. What that's going to do is it's going to go through your repositories and it's going to get all the latest packages and so on and so forth. Then the next step, once that's done, is another very simple command. And it just takes a moment here because we're downloading all those package lists through the internet. Next step on your Pi, sudo apt-get. Don't worry about those errors. That's just my computer. You're not going to see that on your Pi. Sudo apt-get upgrade. And when you do that, that is now going to upgrade the Pi, some of the packages that are available for it. So when that process is finished, there's one final thing to do. So you do need internet on your Pi for this. So just run a cable and reboot it kind of thing. The last one is same thing, but with dist-upgrade. And what that one does, it's called a distribution upgrade, and it looks for any new kernels. And this is what you need because those kernels have the new Bluetooth drivers and everything like that. So sudo apt-get update updates the list so that you have the list of the latest software. Sudo apt-get upgrade is now going to upgrade any packages and programs that are on your Raspberry Pi to make sure that they're the latest version. And then sudo apt-get dist upgrade is going to do that final step. Reboot the Pi and guarantee you your PS3 controllers are going to work absolutely flawlessly. How do you like that? So imagine, so you're playing PlayStation games with a PS3 wireless controller.
That's all you need.
That's it. It's perfect.
It's great.
It's amazing. The performance is spectacular on the Pi 3. N64, I found if you increase the RAM allocated to the, the CPU allocated to, it is the RAM. It's a little tricky getting the N64 to work just perfectly, but you need to allocate a little bit more RAM to the GPU, to the graphics. So I set mine at 328, I believe, and that boosted up the performance enough to make that that N64 console work just fine. Yeah, you're there.
I'm just trying to see if I'm still on the shelf. I can't see anything, so.
Yeah, you're there. You're there. You can watch it back. You can watch it back.
Okay.
Such
guys.
effects here at the show. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We're enjoying the RetroPie. So
The upgrade.
if you didn't see it, 442 is where you can pick it up. All right. We've got some cool headphones here. These are called Kids Gear. And
cool.
you can get these at cat5.tv/headphones. We've reviewed some really cool headphones on the show, including the Rebel BTs from House of Marley. Now, these from Kids Gear, these are interesting and different because they're specifically built, as you can guess, for kids. Right? So what does that mean? Well, they're smaller, they're more comfortable for children, and they're a little more durable. But also, a lot of these units come with what's called the kids control cable, and that cable will actually limit the volume level so that if your kids tend to turn up the volume too high, it will make sure that it turns it down a little bit automatically. So it buffers it about minus 20 decibels kind of idea. So it's a pretty, it turns it down.
Yeah.
So they're full range headphones, 20 to 20,000 hertz, and they sound great. They look great. Let's, should we get into one of these? So this is...
Shelly, maybe it'll fit you.
You want to?
I'm excited.
Yeah. This is probably going to be the perfect fit.
We can put it on Kelsey's head.
Let's get a look at these ones because this is pretty exciting because for the first time that I have seen, Kids Gear is bringing out Bluetooth headphones for children.
Someone said throw it on Kelsey Elf's head. They would look tinier on your head, and yeah, that would look cute.
There we go. They come in multiple different colors at cat5.tv/headphones. These are the Bluetooth models. So you'll see that they've got full controls over here, nice power switch, and they do feel pretty solid. Really solid, actually. They're good quality.
Yep.
So these headphones, like the ones that we've reviewed in the past, they're completely wireless. They connect to your phone and a tablet or even your laptop computer with a Bluetooth 4 device. It has the ability to plug it in as a regular pair of headphones. So if your battery dies, for example, you can actually... Oh, Kelsey, get off the headphones!
What?
I know, you're just sitting on them. There we go.
Oh.
If your batteries die, which they are rechargeable, so you plug them into USB, the cable's provided, it will recharge. You can plug in the audio cable and just use them as a standard pair of headphones, even without batteries. Okay?
There we go.
We've got a gaming headset that plugs in here. So if the kids want to play some games, plug it in, twist it.
That's wicked.
There you go. Fully articulating. You want to try these on, see if they actually fit you?
Might be a smidgen tight.
You think?
I'll give them a go.
Okay. Not actually a kid, folks, but the fit is perfect.
How do I look, guys?
Looks great.
Wow, it's even... I can hardly hear in there.
Oh, are they comfy? And
yeah.
Good cushioning. The cushions are pretty good. These again are Kids Gear headphones, perfect for your kids. If you're looking for something
they feel legit.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to get them, then I think, especially these days, a lot of kids carry around iPhones or other kinds of Bluetooth-enabled devices, carry their music on it and stuff, and there's nothing like having the cable rip the headphones off your head.
Ooh, yeah.
So they're pretty cool, and they sound great. So check them out, Kids Gear headphones, cat5.tv/headphones. And you'll also find the Rebel BTs there, which we have previously reviewed. I'd say, as an adult, those are my favorite headphones.
As an adult. As a full-grown man.
Yes. Fully developed. There you go. All right. This is Category 5 Technology TV, and welcome to the show. How have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah?
How have you been?
Kelsey?
I've been good. I've been good. I've been working, so I'm tired, but
good.
That's okay.
Job's going well. You're off school for now and just taking it easy.
Yeah.
Working hard.
Job's good.
Yeah.
Job's good.
And you're back in Barrie.
Yeah.
Here we are in Barrie, Ontario, beautiful city.
Great.
And
Great
summer's here, and we can certainly feel the heat in the studio today.
Oh, yeah.
You're wearing fleece.
It's all right.
Oh my God.
Robbie's sweating.
Yeah,
I am
I'm
too.
glistening. What are you talking about?
Light mist.
Yeah. You're kind of the star of the Category 5 TV network. You've been on New Every Day for, 3-4 weeks in a row.
It's been fun.
And then when you're not there, you're here. So last week you were there.
Back and forth.
Now you're back on Tech TV. We've got several different shows that we produce here at Category 5 TV Network. You can find out more just by going to any of our websites, but an easy way to find us and the different shows that we have is to go to our Patreon page. So you go to cat5.tv/Patreon, and there's a list of the different shows, what they intend to accomplish. There are some that are already in production on a weekly basis, some that are that we're trying to bring out to the network, and some that are to come. One show that I'm very excited about, the season's here, is the Drone Zone.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at
cool.
flight school, basically. So if you're interested in flying a drone, a multi-rotor, a quadcopter, or any of those kinds of devices, you'll definitely want to check out the Drone Zone. In the meantime, you'll find it on YouTube if you do a quick search, or follow the subscriptions on Category 5 TV on YouTube. And I'll post a link if you're watching this on YouTube. There's a link right there. But also, you can get your drones through GearBest. We're going to find out more about them in a couple minutes' time. But also at cat5.tv/fly. But I'm excited about some of the drones that we're bringing in. We've got several partners that are going to be sending in the drones.
Cool.
Pretty cool. Either of you fly?
On a plane.
Or know somebody that flies?
On a plane?
No.
Do you pilot drones at all?
No, not drones.
It's a lot of fun.
Not drones.
Any desire to? Just
as a
never
shelf
tried
elf?
it, never experienced it. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It really is. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are too.
Yay.
Should we get right into it?
Yes.
All right. Kelsey, you let me know if you need to say anything because I'm going to take you off the shelf for a little bit.
Okay, that's okay.
All right.
Bye.
This is Category 5 Technology TV, and tonight we're looking at a couple of different Linux tips in the terminal that are going to help you with server administration. First of all, we're going to be looking at a tool that's going to help you when you're working over SSH or when you need to access a remote computer over SSH. It's definitely a helpful tool. And then we're going to get into setting up our Ubuntu Mate system as an LVM file system, and that is going to allow us to continue our series next week on how to do LVM snapshot backups, which is basically the ultimate way to do backups on Linux. I've mentioned it before, but we've never actually covered it on the show, I don't think. We talked about hot copy a couple years back, but with the advancements in the kernel, hot copy is no longer a viable option, and so it's time to move on and look at LVM. Same basic principle, being able to take snapshots, but it's included with all distributions, and it's available for you regardless of your kernel if you're running a modern operating system. So we're looking forward to doing that series. In the meantime, there's a cool tool called Screen, and Screen is basically going to allow you to create emulation of TTY screens within an SSH terminal session. If you're on Linux, you've probably at some point hit Control-Alt-F1, Control-Alt-F2 to toggle between the different screens that your Linux operating system gives you, and then Control-Alt-F7 is usually your desktop environment to return. When you're remoted into a server or a computer, you don't necessarily have that option. You don't have the ability to switch around on the TTYs. But in addition, one of the worst things that can happen is you're doing an upgrade, say a dist upgrade, or you're doing some kind of a task that takes a lot of time and is potentially dangerous to lose your connection to, and suddenly your internet drops out for a couple of moments, your session freezes up, and then you're locked out of your system. The problem there is that then, okay, well, what do? You can reconnect by SSH, but you can't see the session as it was, so you've lost access to what it was that you were doing. You know that it's running in the background, but you don't know when it's completed. You don't know if it completed successfully, and it's a bit of a mess. So what we're going to learn tonight is this helpful little tool called Screen, and it's going to save us from all those kinds of woes. So in your Linux operating system, we are going to do a few things real quick here. Sudo apt-get update, because we're assuming that you've never installed Screen before. This is a Debian-based operating system. If you are on an RPM-based system, you may use a tool called Yum, for example. Whatever your favorite package manager is, you'll be able to follow along with the same similar commands, but you'll need to adapt them for your distribution. Sudo apt-get install Screen, just like it sounds, and that's going to look in those repositories for the package. And it's not even asking me if I want to. It may ask you if you are sure you want to continue. You can type Y for yes. Now, when I type the word Screen, it's just simply going to look like, okay, it's got a page of kind of copyright information. Then when I hit enter, I'm back at terminal. Okay. So then you start to think, okay, well, what on earth did I just do? It just looks like I'm still in my terminal. That's all there is to it, right? So I can go into my folders and look around, and everything looks just normal. But watch what happens now when I hit Control-A and then D. Now it says I'm detached. So what does that mean? So where am I? I can look around and I can do whatever, but now watch what happens when I type Screen-R for reconnect or reattach. You'll see that I'm right back to where I typed ls. So if I was in the process of running these big long commands, if let's say you're running a backup, I think that's a really good scenario. You'd want to run Screen first. So I'm going to run this, and then I'm going to hit Control-A-D, and you'll see that I'm detached. And so now I can go about my day, continue doing other things, and then when I'm ready, I can go Screen-R to reattach, and you'll see I'm right back at that apt-get update. And there it goes. I can hit Control-A-D, and I'm back at my regular terminal. So why does that matter? Well, if I were to lose my connection now in this state, because I have that apt-get update going on in a screen session, then I can now reconnect to that server, type screen-r, and I'm right back at that session exactly where it is at that point. So it's running basically in the background without any interface. So now I can reconnect to that system, type screen-r, and there we are. I'm still, I'm back at that terminal session. Okay, so I'm going to exit, so there are now no screen connections going, no screen sessions. So if I type screen, we're just going to basically, I'm giving you a crash course on screen tonight to help you to learn how to use it. So we're going to go through a couple of the different commands, Shelley, on how to utilize this tool. Basically what we're doing is considering, cases where you've got applications that are going to be mission critical. So you've got something that's happening like a backup where you need to be able to let it run, but you're pretty sure that you're going to either lose your connection or need to close off your connection while it's still running. So with screen, we're able to do that. So let's play around here a little bit. Screen-ls, and it says no sockets found. Now you notice that I am currently logged into my system as Robbie. So it's important to note that if I were to go sudo screen, now I'm actually root. Okay, so if I do ls and then I go Control-A-D, now I'm detached. But watch what happens when I go screen-r. There is no screen to be resumed. Well, why is that? The reason is because the screen that is currently running on this system is in fact, I'm not sure if I can super user here. Yeah, I could probably go su sudo, or sorry, sudo su. There we go. So I'm root now. So as root, if I type screen-r, now you'll see it reconnects to that session because I was root by using sudo when I created that session. So if you have created a session to run a backup as root and then you disconnect and you are no longer root, then you're going to find that your screen session does not exist. So you need to again become root with sudo or with sudo su, and then you can reconnect. There's the session. Okay, so it is user specific, so it's important to note that whatever user you ran it as is the user that it is going to be associated with. So you have to return to that user in order to access the screen session. So now we're going to, now we have no screens running. I'm going to show you that. Screen-r is gone. Sudo screen-r, there is no screen to be resumed. So the next command is sudo, not sudo, pardon me, screen-ls. And you're familiar with the ls command. That's what we use when we're listing the file system. Bless you. So screen-ls similarly is going to list any of the running sessions that are available to us on screen. So screen, and then hit enter. Now there's a screen running, Control-A-D, and I can go screen-ls, and you'll see that there's now a session. So if I had two sessions running, which is possible, now I have two of them, so I can, on this one, I can go ls. You see that I've done it twice, and then disconnect with Control-A-D. You okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
We'll just take a break. We'll edit it out in post. There we go.
Okay, I'm good.
There we go. All right. Where was I? Okay, now we got to start over, Shell. So now I've got two sessions active. Watch what happens when I go screen-ls. There you go. So I can see that there are now two sessions. So now when I go screen-r, well, it says, what do you want to do? There's two of them. So we go screen-r, and you see that number before the pts-0.demo. That's the number that I want to use. So screen-r space 14978. There's the terminal session where I had two LSs. Now if I disconnect again and I go screen-ls, there are two, so I can go screen-r, and let's connect to the other one, 14901. And you'll see that that is not the one with ls. So I can exit that. Now when I type screen-ls, there's only one. Screen-r is going to take me into 14978 because I don't have to specify that because it's the only one that exists. And now I can exit again with Control-A-D. So I press Control-A, let go, then press the letter D on my keyboard. That's going to take me there. So now when I run screen-ls, you'll see that I have one session. Here's the problem there. Shelley, if I had 15 sessions open. How am I going to know which one is which? It's a lot of cycling through numbers. It's a lot of trying to remember which one is which and maybe jotting it down. It's a little bit of a pain. Not really ideal. So instead, what we can do is we can actually specify a name to associate with that session number. It's actually surprisingly easy. And in order to do that, now when I create a session, and this is probably the way you would want to do it, is screen-s, and let's call this one backup. So now when I create that screen session, I can run my backup, right? Control-A-D while that runs. And when I want to reconnect, I can go screen-ls, and I see that there is one called backup. So that name just associates it so for my reference, because when I reconnect, I can go screen-R15826, enter, and I'm right back at backup. So it's as simple as that. So it's a lot to take in, I think, and I crash course through it so that you would have a good reference to be able to refer back to on how to use Screen. Fantastic tool. It's going to save your fanny if you are if you're online and lose that connection when you're working on a server. I've had it happen. It's a horrible thing to have happen, and you sit there, H-top watching the process, wondering, is that backup almost done? Was it successful? And then you can't go back in to see what was on the screen. So this way you can. So Screen. Again, it's a free tool for Linux and great for system administrators, but also great for you on your home Linux system. You can use that anywhere that you use Linux. We talk about the Raspberry Pi, RetroPie, Raspbian OS, and being able to SSH into that. It's another great example of, here's an example for you, using Screen. So first install it like I did tonight before you do a scrape. Because did you know that RetroPie-setup. You'll find that if you first hit F4, you hit LS, you'll see a folder called RetroPie-setup, and you go into that and you run sudo space / RetroPie-setup.sh. You'll see it there. With an LS, you'll see it. Run that, and there is now the feature with RetroPie 3 that you can actually run the scrape from the terminal with emulation station closed. What that means is that it's going to go onto the internet, so make sure your Ethernet is connected or you've got Wi-Fi on the RetroPie. It's going to go through the internet, and just like when you used to rip CDs and it would automatically get all the titles, this will get the cover art, the description, the number of players, the rating, all that information about every game that's on your RetroPie, within reason, as long as it recognizes them in the database, right? So with that scrape now running in the background, then you can Control-A-D, let it run in the background, don't run emulation station while it's happening, but then you can just walk away and you don't have to worry about it. Then remote back in, reconnect to the Screen session, and you're good to go. So,
cool.
Happy birthday. Enjoy that. This is Category 5 Technology TV. I know, I just blew your mind.
Happy birthday.
That's all you got out of that. Oh, boy. Hey, you'll find our website, www.category5.tv. Kelsey, can you believe I blabbed all the way to the news?
You did?
And hey, if you've got a question in the chat room, am I off?
No, I'm just holding her up.
Oh, you're holding her up. I thought you were like doing
Am
like
I there again?
walk like an Egyptian.
Yeah, you're there.
Okay.
Yeah, you're there.
You're alive.
You're just below Picard. I ought to put Picard right next. Maybe we could fix this. Just a little set modification, folks. It's the ugliest Picard I've ever seen. How's that? Look out, Kels. There you go. Now we're set.
Is he
That's
trying to
how
choke me now?
No, he's shooting you with his phaser.
Oh, that's
Shooting you
rude.
with his phaser.
That's rude.
You ready for it?
Are we doing the intro first before the commercial? Yeah? Okay.
I see where you're going with this. Yeah, we'll head over to the newsroom and then we'll take a break when you're there. And as I was about to say, if you're in the chat room, make sure you send to our attention. Shelley's there, I'm there, and we will love to field your questions right after the news. All right, Kelsey, take it away.
It's Tuesday, May 31st, 2016, and here are the stories we are covering this week. Microsoft's upgrade to Windows 10 is getting really pushy. A huge number of people in Canada have cut their home phone. In order to provide faster connections to online and cloud services across the world, Facebook and Microsoft have joined hands to lay an undersea cable system across the Atlantic Ocean. You won't believe how fast it is. And Peter Sunday says Europe must take action to stop the Facebook social network. These stories coming right up. Don't go anywhere.
Jeff Weston,
Yeah, man.
you're building a brand new, beautiful website,
What?
aren't you?
No. Am I?
Oh, you're a terrible actor.
What?
This is where acting comes into play.
Oh, I didn't know we were acting.
You're supposed to act.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I'm building a really cool website. Are you building a really cool website? You need hosting. One of the things about a hosting account is you don't want to have limitations put on your website.
It's true.
How much hard drive space do you have? How many email accounts? How many domains can point to it? Well, we've got an amazing deal for you. For a very limited time, cat5.tv/dreamhost, for just $5 and a bit of change per month, you are going to get unlimited website hosting, unlimited email accounts on that hosting service. You are also going to receive a free domain name.
Ooh.
So your own .com
Nice.
to put that amazing website that you've been working on
It's
on
true.
there. If you want to build a WordPress site, fine. Sign up, cat5.tv/dreamhost.
Just don't put Panama Papers on it.
Just don't do it. But hey, it's a great deal, folks. Best deal you're going to find. $5 and change per month. Go to cat5.tv/dreamhost.
I'm Kelsey Jensen, and here are the top stories from the Category 5.tv newsroom. Microsoft really, really wants you to upgrade to Windows 10. Since last summer, the tech giant has pushed and prodded PC owners to upgrade their machines to its latest Windows version. While the upgrade is currently free for most consumers with Windows PCs, critics say that the company's heavy-handed nudging amounts to an offer you can't refuse. I would do that accent, but I really can't. Microsoft initially offered Windows 10 as an optional upgrade, that is, one that users had to choose themselves. Then, earlier this year, the company reclassified it as recommended. Some Windows 10 holdouts cried foul, since many PCs are set up to automatically install recommended updates, which are usually important security fixes. Suddenly, those machines would automatically install Windows 10 as well. At one point, some PC owners complained. Microsoft began sending on-screen messages prompting them to download and install Windows 10. The catch, where most such pop-up windows have buttons marked OK and Cancel. This message displayed two buttons that both led to an upgrade, which was Upgrade Now and Upgrade Tonight. To avoid the upgrade, die-hard registers had to click a red X in the upper right corner that closed the window. Microsoft then revised this notification, citing customer feedback. A new version tells PC owners they are scheduled for a recommended upgrade to Windows 10 at a specific time in the near future, and bears a prominent OK button. To reject or reschedule the change, users have to find and click a less conspicuous link in small type. But clicking the X no longer blocks the update. Microsoft says it isn't trying to be sneaky. In blog posts and official statements, the company says it shows users at least 2 notifications before it activates Windows 10. It also allows any PC owner to reverse the installation and go back to their old software if they do so within 31 days. Even so, Microsoft clearly wants to get as many PCs and other devices running Windows 10 as it possibly can. The company says it wants users to have the latest security features and other improvements. Microsoft also makes more money from Windows 10 features that increase usage of Bing, the company's ad-supported search engine. And it wants to convince programmers there's a big audience for software apps that are compatible with Windows 10 on PCs, tablets, smartphones, and other gadgets. Microsoft says its offer of a free upgrade for old machines is ending July 29th. And that means more notices and prompts are likely. So,
Are you running Windows 10, Kelsey?
yes, I am.
And what do you think of it?
I like it. Like I've run Windows 7, 8, and 10.
Okay.
So not... I didn't like Windows 8.
Yeah, I was going to say coming from 8, then it's kind of a non-starter that Windows 10 is better than 8.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a lot to do with, and we're seeing a lot in business where customers, it's costing people money when they cannot do the things that they set out to do in business because suddenly their computer is locked up saying installing Windows 10. So it's not even necessarily the upgraded OS so much as the upgrade of the OS.
Right.
Or here at the studio, how it happened on our broadcast system and we're on LTE internet and it cost a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. It took me 3 months to get caught up on that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all because Windows decided to, hey, we're going to download all of this stuff without asking.
Fun. Good job, Windows. Real good job.
Yay.
I think.
Fail.
More than 500,000 Canadians hung up their home phones permanently in the past fiscal year, and the cord-cutting trend seems to be accelerating despite incentives offered by telecoms to keep customers on the line. As many as 540,000 subscribers canceled their home phone services from the top 5 telecommunications providers in Canada between the first quarters of 2015 and 2016, with about 160,000 people cutting their landlines in the past quarter alone, according to the company's quarterly reports. That's the equivalent of the entire province of Manitoba, plus a few thousand neighbors in Saskatchewan, giving up their landlines last year. The drop pushes the percentage of Canadian households that rely solely on mobile phones well above 25%, higher than Statistics Canada's most recent rate of 23.7% based on 2014 data. But telecoms aren't letting landlines go quietly, according to customers who have been offered deep discounts when they call to cancel. Landlines may be less lucrative than wireless, but the residential telephone market still pulled $5.2 billion in 2014. These telecom companies know, though, that at the end of the day, broadband is the only product they'll most likely survive with.
You know what? I think a lot of times these bits of research assume that everyone is switching to mobile, cellular phone. Personally, I can't stand that.
Why?
Dropping your home phone for
a cell phone?
I'm more. Couldn't you get away from expense rather than
I know
every phone call having to be cost? And I hate to say it, but I know people who have done that, and I always feel guilty to call them on a regular basis, right? Like you want to talk, but this is costing me money. I'm on my. It's like long distance calls of old when we were younger. Long distance calls were the thing. So I took a different approach. You took a different approach as well with the Net Talk Duos, Duo 2s, Duo Wi-Fis. This is not an ad for them, but just thinking about how this is the exact opposite. So I'm a cord cutter. I've cut phone service from my house. But instead, I've got one of these using my internet connection so I can call now anywhere in Canada, the U.S. for free. So I've done the exact opposite where nothing costs money now, just the internet connection itself.
Yeah.
If this was an ad, I would tell you to get one at cat5.tv/nettalk, but I wouldn't do that.
Do it.
Might as well, right?
Yeah.
But you know the two different sides of it, right? And I can't stand that, Plus, there's the whole thing of cell phones being everywhere. Like we're so addicted to these things,
right?
And you're so accessible. And the guy in line at the Starbucks, where you've got to wait for him because he's hold on, I'm on the phone. I don't care. Like unless you are the president of the United States, you're not that important.
Yeah, or the Prime Minister of Canada.
No, he's not as important as the president of the United States, is he?
We don't got a president.
It's a prime minister.
Why are you talking about the states?
I think you hear me.
Yeah. All right.
Back to you, Kels.
Okay. Facebook and Microsoft have teamed up to install the fastest transatlantic undersea cable, which will transfer data at a record-breaking speed of 160 terabytes per second.
I'm sorry?
160 terabytes per second.
With a capital B? Wow.
That's like Wow.
How fast is that? Or how slow
Really
is that?
fast.
How fast? That's millions of times faster than your fastest home internet service.
Like light year
I'm
speed?
pretty sure. Better than light.
Well,
Holy cow.
Because only just now
That's
are you getting like 3 or 4 terabyte hard drives for, a
So imagine
decent-
being able to transfer it in a matter of a split second.
Yeah.
That's nutty.
That's-
But that's also scary. That's a big pipe to have all in one.
Pipe.
Yeah, well, a big backbone to
No, I
have
know what
all
you
in
mean.
one spot. Like if that ever got cut,
crazy.
you know that a
You're
lot of
done.
infrastructure is going to go through there.
Yeah.
And that is an expensive piece of equipment right there.
Yeah.
So tell us more, Kels.
Yes. The two IT giants will construct the longest undersea cable that will connect Virginia Beach in the States and Bilbao. Am I saying that right?
Bilbao, I would think.
Bilbao in Spain,
yeah.
spanning almost 6,600 kilometers. The move comes 2
6,000.
years after Google's, now Alphabet, initiative to invest $300 million to lay a trans-Pacific cable between US and Japan. While most undersea cables are owned and maintained by telecom companies, the Transatlantic cable will be owned by Facebook and Microsoft themselves. The 6,600 kilometers cable system will also be the first connecting the United States and Southern Europe, running from Northern Virginia to Bilbao, Spain. From Spain, the data network will link to hubs in Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and other parts of Europe. Microsoft bought into Facebook 9 years ago, paying $240 million for a 1.6% stake in the leading social network.
Whoa.
That's a lot of money for that small of a stake.
Wow.
1%.
Could I like just take a second just to really look at these numbers and see how fast backbone is going to be? So this is the Microsoft, let me Google that for you. Microsoft Facebook, and they call it a submarine, not like the submarine that you ride in,
Sandwich?
but submarine as in underwater, right? Subsea cable across the Atlantic.
Crazy.
It's going to be awfully reliable too, but all to build up cloud infrastructure, eh? And to think that no longer being, and I know that there are other cables out there, but this is fast, not being reliant on satellite or anything like that. Build it. Come on, Venture Beat. I don't know. It's super fast
faster.
anyway. That's crazy, Kels.
That's insane.
You guys look it up. Check it out.
Yeah. Wow.
You're on.
All right. According to Peter Sunday, the co-founder of the Pirate Bay, Facebook has grown so dominant that it is one of the world's largest nations, and co-founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg is effectively the dictator of that country. Sunday made his remarks during an interview with CNBC at a conference in Amsterdam. He went on to warn, Mark Zuckerberg is a dictator. I did not elect him. He sets the rules. Although membership in Facebook is voluntary, the Pirate Bay founders said there is an impact on people's lives if they don't belong to the giant social network, because so much of the interaction among family members and friends takes place on Facebook. The idea that Facebook is essentially a sovereign nation may sound crazy, but it is reinforced by the way political leaders treat the company and its leader. For example, he mentioned how German Chancellor Angela Merkel confronted the Facebook CEO about the site's handling of anti-immigration posts, essentially sending major leaders of Europe to ask him to stop interfering with their local culture. The Pirate Bay founder also criticized Facebook for forcing people to use their real names on the site, which he said was responsible for users being persecuted in some countries. The fact that Mr. Sunday spent 5 months in jail for building a website that makes it easy to find and obtain illegal copies of music and movies makes his claims somewhat ironic. However, the validity of his points should raise some red flags. What do you think?
Yeah, it is kind of funny coming from him, eh? Like this is one of the founders of Pirate Bay, which is like torrent illegal copies of stuff, and that's a gray area bordering on the black. And he's calling out Facebook's Zuckerberg. But it does kind of sound... knowing that he is being treated like a bit of a dictator by governments is a little bit... I don't know what to make of that.
Yeah.
I guess it's a huge company, right?
Yeah, it's...
And they represent so many people, so...
Again, Microsoft spent $240 million on just getting a 1% stake in the company. Like, they're massive.
Wow.
All right.
See where that goes.
Big thanks this week to Jeff Weston and our community of viewers for submitting stories to us. If you found a news story you'd like to send, email it to newsroom@category5.tv. For all your tech news with a slight Linux bias, visit the category5.tv newsroom at newsroom.category5.tv. For the category5.tv newsroom, I'm Kelsey Jensen.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Not a problem.
This is Category 5 Technology TV, and welcome to the show. It's episode number 454, and the date is Tuesday, May 31st, 2016. So if you're watching this in 2072, you know why we're talking about some really weird old stuff.
That is cool. We're gone.
Speaking of watching in 2072, what do you think of all those printers that have rocked the world? Those 3D printers.
It's probably making cars by now.
It's your past, it's our future, but 3D printing will rock the world. Find out more, cat5.tv/rock the world. 2 weeks ago, we spoke with John Hornick about this book, 3D Printing Will Rock the World. Check out his book, please. And again, it is cat5.tv/rock the world to get your hands on this. It is fast becoming the encyclopedia on 3D printing and the future of it, how it's going to change things. Cool. But it is entertaining, it's fun, it has pictures, and they are interesting. And you know from seeing John on the show, he's a great guy. He knows what he's talking about, but he's also a lot of fun to speak with and to read. So his personality shines through in the book.
Nice.
We've got one to give away, and we've collected your ballots over the past couple of weeks. We gave viewers a chance to send in their ballots. We got a ton of ballots, and just before the show, you know what I did?
You selected one.
I selected one. So, congratulations to our viewer, Shine Shadow. Shine Shadow, congratulations. You were randomly drawn tonight from the ballots just before the show. If you missed the informational interview a couple weeks back, make sure you check out episode number 452 immediately after tonight's show.
Neat. So, Shine Shadow, if you could send us your email, or no, your mailing address through your email port to our email, that would be great, so we can send you your book.
Live at category5.tv. Just send us that, and we'll get that out to you. Congratulations, and thanks to everybody for sending in your ballots. Don't forget to check out the book. Get yourself a copy, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. We will be right back after this.
Now here's another great way you can support the shows you love from the Category5.tv network by shopping at GearBest.
That's right, Jeff. cat5.tv/GearBest. It's an online store for the geek streak in you.
Or the loved ones.
Well, of course. I mean, especially your loved ones, right? Because cat5.tv/GearBest, quite frankly, has all of the greatest tech gifts that you could ever hope for at rock-bottom prices.
Do they have cell phones?
You betcha. Cat5.tv/GearBest has a wide assortment of unlocked Android cell phones and tablets.
What about consumer electronics? Those make a great gift.
Absolutely. From high-tech watches to action cameras, headphones, even virtual reality headsets. Cat5.tv/GearBest has you covered. They literally have it all, Jeff. Literally.
Really?
It's like a superstore right from the comfort of your own chair at your computer through the interweb.
Yeah. There's no way they have it all.
It's true.
It's just a bunch of random electronics.
Test me.
What about clothes?
Yep. Both men and women, fashionable apparel at rock-bottom super-duper prices.
Kind of like this?
Well, look at this coat. What do you think? It's a slimming mock leather jacket.
I love it.
It's available for less than $30 plus free shipping at cat5.tv/GearBest.
Yeah, all right. You kind of got me there.
Wow. Any other questions for me, Jeff?
Now that the winter has passed, flying season, do they have any good deals on, say, drone copters?
Oh my goodness! Well, check this out. Dude, they have everything. Check out over 500 various drones. And not only that, they're available marked down by about 30 to up to 63% off the regular price.
Love it. What's the website again?
Well, you're going to find GearBest on our partners pages for any of your favorite Category 5 TV shows like New Every Day, Category 5 Technology TV, The Pixel Shadow. But of course, if you want to shop absolutely right now and you want to go straight to the site, all you have to do is visit cat5.tv/GearBest.
See, that's easy. cat5.tv/GearBest.
That's right. Happy shopping. This is Category 5 Technology TV, and you'll find us online, www.category5.tv.
And as well, Category5.tv is a member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Category 5, cat5.tv/TPN, and the International Association of Internet Broadcasters, cat5.tv/IAIB.
A wonderful way that you can support the show is to head on over to cat5.tv/Patreon. We appreciate everybody who has contributed over the past week. We've got a couple new partners, patrons, if you will, on our Patreon page as well. We've got we really appreciate those of you who have taken the time and decided to contribute through PayPal as well. We do have a tip jar, which is donate.category5.tv. I've got so many URLs going through my head. It's amazing. It's crazy. Thank you to those who have gone to donate.category5.tv and supported the show. Did you know that we have on average about 12,163 viewers per day? That's based on last month's numbers.
Crazy.
Per day?
Per day. So if just a small percentage of those were to say, I can give 25 cents per episode. So once a week, I'll give 25 cents through Patreon. We would be set. We'd have all of our expenses paid before the bill even comes, and we'd be good to go. And we'd be able to upgrade. We'd be able to, we're talking about the drone zone. I want to do the drone zone. It's going to be amazing. It's happening this summer. We're going to be reviewing a lot of great gear, but it costs money to do. So every show costs a lot of money, and this show here, Category 5 Technology TV, costs us $250 per episode. So if you ever think, could you just do it and not cost anything? Well, it does. We've got rent, we've got hydro, we've got insurance, internet is the big one.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
Helps out.
Cat5.tv/Patreon. Last week, Jeff and I were talking about Battlestar Galactica. Have you seen it?
No.
Just a quick update. I can't believe you haven't seen it, Kels. Honestly, you're a Doctor Who fan, right?
Yeah.
You actually got me interested in Doctor Who.
Did I really?
You did. And so now we're like totally caught up. We watched right from not the old series, but the 1990. Did it start in 1999 or 91 or something?
Well, there was.
I can't even keep track. It started with the 11th Doctor, I think, or something like that.
No. It started in 2005 with the 9th Doctor.
Yes. And he was on for one season. I get so confused. I mean, I could tell you.
That was Christopher Eccleston.
Okay. Yes, that's right.
Awesome.
See, you know all about that.
Yeah. And then
She's in her
right now we're on the 12th Doctor.
The 12th.
With Peter Capaldi.
Peter Capaldi. Yeah, I know him.
He's great.
I did not expect him to be as awesome as he is.
Yeah.
Only because I know him from so much comedy and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was pretty surprising.
Yeah.
Battlestar has been a lot of fun. We're about 5 or 6 episodes in including the mini series, two movies at the start of it. It's good.
Okay.
It's really good. Basically, here's the story: bunch of robots chasing after humans, no water, and we got to survive.
It's
in
a
space.
Great apocalyptic story.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, that's it.
It's like Resident Evil.
Is that what it's like to you? I guess, eh? Yeah. We should get a poster.
Resident
Battlestar or Resident Evil. Which one?
Oh.
Probably Battlestar. Just because Resident Evil would make me feel really creeped out.
Yeah.
You're zombies.
Yeah. We don't need that around here.
Yeah.
This is a family
we keep
show.
Smiles on our face. We're all about the smiles.
This is a family show, not Resident Evil.
Show.
Yeah.
They sit around and
gather around, children. Let us show you the children's headphones. Yeah, it's how it works.
We have a product for every age.
Yeah, that's right. Next week we will be reviewing mice for 80-year-olds. That's it. I can't believe our show's done.
Crazy.
That's it.
This is ridiculous.
Have a fantastic week, everybody. Thanks for being here. Kelsey on the shelf. And Shelly, nice to see you.
Sure.
Are we all done our run? Mm-hmm. You're back hopefully here soon. And
Yeah.
I guess this
After I
week.
go for a little hike,
This
and
week. Oh, yeah, you're going on a hike.
I'm going on a hike.
Oh, I wish we had more time. I want to hear all about it. But you're going to the States. Where are you headed?
Honolulu.
Honolulu.
Yeah.
We've got viewers there. So when you
Yeah.
see Shelly way up on the mountain,
That'd be me.
wave. Wave.
Right.
All right.
On the island of Kauai.
Have a fun time.
Thank you.
Enjoy. And I will see you again next week. And this week on New Every Day, it's just going to be Jen.
What a
she
gal.
dropped you off. She dropped you off, and she's driving home.
Yeah.
And it's all her. And then a couple weeks from now, we're going to see. Oh, and there goes Kelsey. Her camera just died. Aw, it's time. It's time. That's it. So, good night, everybody. There it goes. Have a
ya.
fantastic week. We'll see you next Tuesday. Good night.
Bye.